Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
There's concern that because Nigerians hate police officers.
Well, I would say Nigerians have destroyed the police over the years, just like they've destroyed the politicians, just they've destroyed PHCN, they've destroyed the military. And this has been born out in my mind out of failed hopes and promises. The police essentially have come from the rank and file. And if we have not taken care of the hygienic needs, well, everybody, but now for the police, it becomes well nigh impossible. Situations where I am supposed to be guarding, I'm supposed to be everybody's friend, and I'm not paid what I would describe as a living wage. I do not have a secured future by way of pension, and that if I die in active service, within a week or two, I'll be heralded out of my barrack abode. That's if I stay in the barracks. My uniform is not well taken care of. I have to take care of it. You do not expect to have bred lions, and you want to end up with wolves. So it is true, and orientation needs to be reset. Whilst at that, I always say that when you have 100 bad examples, maybe 2 additional that you will see will be very good exemplary officers. And because of these 2, we shouldn't make a decision to throw away the baby with the bathwater. But by way of perception, it is true that we have lost ourselves as citizens to trust the police. Many of the things they say we can get by way of bail, that is guaranteed us by way of constitution, sometimes you have to pay for it.
Yeah.
So
Why do Nigerians hate the police? What are the root factors?
Well, the first factor is that I think we have been very, very unforgiving as a people. I remember years back when an athlete came from the US, Udo, I think it was, that was gone down around the stadium. He came home to represent his country, and then he was shot. One of the things that investigation showed was that the police were trying to do esprit de corps, and were going to continue to try to want to protect. So one factor is that the police lie a lot, and that when they are on the other side of the defensive, they want to find a way to try and cover their tracks. Basically because, the thing becomes a chain of corruption up the line. So that is one factor. The second factor is the factor that affects all of us in this part of the world, Nigeria inclusive, and that is the fact that poverty is not deep. We haven't been able to get the very good discipline, to get the training, and then a lot of monies for training are whacked upstairs before it gets to them. I will also like to state that the example from the case study of the former Inspector General of Police of blessed memory, Tafa Balogun, and the younger officer, where Tafa Balogun had his hands all well dipped into corruption, and his officer was in lesser corruption, and the officer could not understand that Oga, having taken so much, still wanted to subject him to so much indignity. And then he went ahead and spill the beans. I think, again, from the historical perspective, the way of formation of the police was exactly what it is, force. Nigerian police, force. Everything has to be forced. And played little on intelligence. Things are changing, no doubt about that, that we should have intelligence police from the days of the rod, or what you call Kondo Olopa, to just being with AK-47, sometimes ill-trained, sometimes sellouts during the Iyamu episode and at the Anini saga. So that trust has remained basically on account of they not being able to tell the truth. They being prevented from going, and they cannot go on strike, even when you are pressing them down. They don't have a means. We have a police service commission now that I expect that should now be able to do a stopgap in between that I've really not seen. And then the historical, to go back to it being a force, do we begin to have a change of putting a label that they are not supposed to just be police force, to go force people and make people cry and, dispossess them of what they have and all that kind of stuff, into a much more friendlier police.
Yes, some have said that it begins from the home.
So from that orientation, yes. So the whole thing will have to be a serious paradigm change. The Nigerian society has evolved to begin to attack its own, because those that are supposed to be safeguarding us, again, because they've not shown uberema fidei, or what you call utmost good faith, the people now then chest back into a shell to want to attack. I like to point attention to what happened during the NSAS, where the police were seen as people should go ahead and attack the way and manner they were attacked. I was at a force headquarters sometime, and I saw so many people that one way or the other they have been either for wandering, they've been captured, and then when they get in there, so many innocent people have died. I also hear that when that population was rising and rising over and above, the police had no choice but to do allegedly extrajudicial killing. So people who live around will just hear groan after gunshots. What has happened, only God knows. So I think that orientation from home, the same parents that say, I'm going to call police for you, we want to prevent some of the best brains to go into the police force, just like you don't want people to be teachers. And if everybody shy away from this, so what's going to happen? So I think we need a total reset, a total mindset, a total change to begin to respect that name that we call police, appropriately trained. And that training will not necessarily have to come from policemen themselves, but can come from the gown and the people who are in real intelligence. Artificial intelligence is now the name of the game. I want to believe that some of the best forensics that I've had to work with, even as a professional accountant, forensic experts of the police. If you go to the police, they are multidisciplined. Law, accountancy, they are good writers, they are good singers, they are good everything, but they've just not been incentivized to do their best. And then promotion within the rank and file also is not anything to write home about.
Now let's take it to.
Okay, I think it has to come from the top. Leadership has to be very direct, focused, and deliberate. One, we must change our total orientation to policing system? Is it going to be state police? There are pros and cons. Are they supposed to work within the ambit of people they know, or they are going to just get into far-flung areas? Thirdly, I also think that our orientation to embracing the police should show by way of example. If my son or my daughter now elects to want to go to the police, I should allow him or her. Yeah, the forces of change will have to come from outside and the forces behind. Does that mean that they are not going to face frustration along the line? Yeah, they will face frustration. But like every other segment of the Nigerian society, we must stay the course, fight it, and in this day and age, where we have the whole world seeing some of the things that you might be doing under the bushel, the world will come out and say it to your promotion. Finally, I also feel that the state must continue to reward our police men and officers, right from when they enlist to get their commitment. It's not necessarily a monetary incentive, their housing, their insurance, their pension should be properly safeguarded. And if anything, I repeat, if anything, whether powers within the rank or file should tamper with that in any way, should face the appropriate sanction of the law. I also think our judicial system should help in the criminal aspect, because the police is at the downstream end, should recognize them for who they are and give them all the protection. Obeying orders from above. Yeah, I think a policeman or a woman should be sane enough and polite enough not only to know his or her, rights under the Constitution and under the Police Act, but politely to find a way to let the superiors know that some of the things that they are being asked to do is against the law. And if it becomes like forced labor for you to have to do it at all costs, they must make sure that they see it all written. Whoever is giving you an instruction that you know is not right, just demand that it be put in writing with that person's name or sign, with evidence that it was not done under duress. I think those are some of the things that we need to begin to do. National Merit Awards should come to men and women at that level. Those who keep us safe while we sleep, while they are facing the bullets. Those are the people that should get a handshake up to the presidential level. Our police have worked outside our country and they have come tops in all respects. It's only when they come back here that whatever water and air that they drink and breathe here becomes a bit of a disincentive. Governance must change. Governance must change. It must be by character, capacity, and competence. Compassion. If you want to get compassion for the police, please let's also show them compassion. Let's point them aright.
Yes, it's important we've talked of compassion. They say, the Bible says that he that shall be a friend should also think of doing those things.
Oh yes, community policing should be a thing, and I also think that our stakeholders, apart from government, our churches, our mosques, our gatherings, should begin an orientation right from primary school up there, that a policeman comes, they are shown some deference. We should look at those good side of police. Police who want to come to your assistance, to come to your aids. And I have come across a police officer who, back in my days, working in oil and gas, I was asked to do some of this nasty work of following madam to the market and all that, and with a smile, and says, this is not a job for me. This should not be. And it was reported, thinking that by reporting that we are going to withdraw. Oh no, things are not done like that. So that's why you have layers. What went wrong? What happened? And then we face madam. Madam, no, that is not their job. Unless if you feel that you don't need this hand, and that police officer will have to stay there, and nothing should happen to this police officer. And everything ended in a win-win situation. We want to have more of this by showing example by much more superior officers, not to aid and abet maltreatment of police. They maltreat you. I don't have a problem with that. If you come and you prove it, and they are going to be, their notice will be put to the grind. But two wrongs will never make a right.
Thank you very much, Mr. Akipatoke, for your time on the spotlight. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much for spotlighting this. And these are little ways that I know policemen and women will watch this and they will feel proud that we are for them. If you are pointing one finger at you, please come with 10 fingers of yours, so we can continue to understand your problems, we can continue to understand and fight for your right. During the NSAS, despite it all, you saw those young people giving water, giving biscuit and all that. That is us, and not the other way around. We love the police, and the police must also love us back in return.
Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.